What's up, Planeswalkers? Theric 6 back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena. Having a blast with some sweet, sweet new cards. Do, of course, hope you go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. It is a fantastic deal, and it helps support the show. In addition, if you use my promo code, you'll be entered in to win one of these sweet, sweet, sweet Richard Kane Ferguson playmats by, I believe the drawing is May 20th. So definitely check that out. Today, we're playing some Niv-Mizzet. We're playing the new Guild Pact, because apparently that's what Niv-Mizzet is now. Which is fine, I guess. I really need to read these dang stories, because Niv-Mizzet, from what I recall, is an asshole. But anyway. So, my Flipside Gaming brother, LVD, recently made a Niv-Mizzet deck. It's a deck, of course, that I was planning on doing regardless, but his deck did relatively well, and I thought it was interesting the way he built it. I didn't want to just copy him, though. I ended up mostly copying him because when you look at the individual cards for the guilds, and of course I'm going to do one of these to kind of show my point, there's definitely a few that are much better than the others, and it's really hard to justify playing. Like, none of these are really usable. Maybe Sphinx's Insight, but why would I do that when I could do Tefers, or just Depose, right? Old Fair doesn't really work because we don't have enough things. I did have some different things that I did try out. I'll talk about in the sideboard after the actual games. But for now, I'm just going to go over really briefly what each of these are. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to try your best to get, about 3 each of the guilds. 2 of them are going to be 2-ofs, or 2 for the guilds, unless you take out a couple of Chromatic Lanterns. In order to make them all freeze. But for what it's worth, Niv-Mizzet with this selection seems to be drawing me relatively consistently 4 or more cards. And, you know, a 5-mana 6/6 flyer that draws you 4 cards is totally fine anyway. We are running a decent number of 2-drops. Most of them are removal because we need to not die, since we're playing a 5-color deck full of nonsense. We have Despark. Not actually early game removal, but it's very helpful for dealing with Planeswalkers. Specifically, Thought Erasure, it's a great card in Dimir, so we're playing it. Tyrant Scorn, very helpful early on to just destroy a aggressive statted creature. Or late game, you can, you know, delay your death, hopefully long enough, where you won't actually die. Angrath Rampage, it does what we need to do. Assassin's Trophy, I originally cut this for a Leyline Prowler, and then I realized I don't have enough specifically Planeswalker removal. So I put it back in for Planeswalkers, those guys. We're running Justice Strike as well. Nice early game removal. Growth Spiral is not something that LVD played. He instead played a Kiora, but I decided that I would rather have a bit of ramp and sort of color fixing. It doesn't truly do it insofar as you're not guaranteed to like have the color fixing. It's just that it allows us to, you know, ramp, draw a card, potentially more lands, because we are only running 25 lands or 24 lands. And we're very mana hungry. So I thought Growth Spiral seems pretty good. Hydrokrasis is a good card. It's very strong and Simic. There's not much to say. We are playing Draconic Disciple, whereas LVD, I keep wanting to say LGD. LVD played Thrash Threat. Golgari is one of the guilds that is only a 2-of, because Golgari, fun fact, doesn't have very many good cards for this sort of deck. So yeah, this is very helpful at fixing mana, and that's why I chose it. Night of Autumn, it blows things up. It is a thing that can hit people, or it gains you life. Very helpful. Tefers, small Tefis. He can bounce things, or he makes it so your control opponents are annoyed. That's pretty much it. Mortify, it's destruction. We need that. Ionize, it's a counterspell. Technically removal. We need that. Bedevil, it's removal. We need that. Deafening Clarion is a nice board wipe, which is actually very helpful. I think, yeah, all of the Boros cards are removal spells, so that's always fun. We're running 4 Chromatic Lanterns because we're running a 5-color deck, all of which are multicolored. We need the Chromatic Lanterns. We're running Akai's Wrath. It's a board wipe. We need board wipes. Ralph's Outburst is okay. It's not the best, but it's fine. It does what it needs to do. It removes a thing, or domes your opponent, I suppose, and then you get to select thing off the top. So it's okay. Solar Blaze, it's a board wipe for the most part. Some things this isn't going to hit, but for the most part, it's good enough. It gets the job done. Johnny the Greathearted, I was really close to cutting, and then I realized this thing literally just says gain 3 life. And that's pretty much what I'm using it for. You know, I was looking at like Tristani and stuff, but she just came down too late for me personally, and I decided that I would rather just gain 3 life and then probably 6 life from Ajani taking the hit for me. So Ajani essentially is a 4 mana, 9 life buffer. Tamiyo, the last of the Simic cards, is helpful. Can't discard, can't sack. Very nice. Choose a name of something. If we really need a Chromatic Lantern or something, this can help us get it. And then -3, we just get something that we want from our graveyard. We can rebuy Nivs, we can rebuy any of our 1-ofs. Very helpful. Carnival Carnage. Early game, it deals with a weenie, as they call it. Late game, it deals with a weenie hut senior. We're talking about control opponents. They're weenies. That's what I'm saying. Even though I play Grixis, pay no mind. We're playing 4 Niv-Mizzet, the boy, because 1, that Raven Swanland art is crisp, but also it's the point of the deck. When we play it, we look at the top 10 cards, well, we reveal the top 10 cards, and then we get 1 of each of the guild color pairs. Really flavorful card, really powerful card as long as you build a deck around it. The unfortunate bit is that it's kind of hard to build a good deck around it. Big Teffers, look, it's Big Teffers. It's a good card, all right? I was thinking about using Time Wipe instead, but it's Teffers. Big Ral, I actually replaced LVD was playing Expansion Explosion. The expansion felt like I was never using it, and Explosion, I usually have a full hand unless I'm like going against specifically a discard deck, and even then, like, it doesn't feel that great. So Ral's, in my opinion, a bit nicer because of the fact that we can potentially use this -3's removal, and our plus can get us something that we need. Depose, deploy, tap something early if you need to draw. Otherwise, you get 2 Thopters and gain probably 2 life. It's very helpful. This is surprisingly good in this deck. Discovery Dispersal. Holy crap, words are hard for me. I just got finished streaming. Well, I wasn't streaming, whatever. I was on D&D, all right? Calm down. Discovery, fantastic. Surveil allows you to, dig through your deck, try and get the cards you need, potentially mana, whatever. Dispersal, it bounces a big thing and kills it. Ravager Worm, great card. It's one of the 2 Gruul spells. Great card. Oh, I should have mentioned that Selesnya is the other one that is only 2. Selesnya is okay. It doesn't have a lot of stuff going on. Vraska, Relic Seeker, she kills things, makes creatures, and kills your opponent. Fantastic. Casualties of War. I almost cut this when I was bringing back Assassin's Trophy and to keep in Leyline Prowler, but I really wanted to just have as much removal as I can, so I decided on that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit normal play mode. I didn't see there. Only got 1 win. I've been facing like nothing but meta decks in play mode. I faced 1 non-meta deck, and I was a Planeswalker deck, and I realized I didn't have enough Planeswalker removal. I'm going to tell you about it, but the first game I played, I'm not even going to count in the win-loss record because of how, BS that was. It was against mono white. By the way, this is a good hand. Yeah. We don't have red, but that's fine. We can play technically everything else in our hand, so that's nice. They went first. They went turn 1, Healer's Hawk. Turn 2, Pridemate. Okay, it's a 3/3 Pridemate. Gonna go ahead and play this first, and now we can play the Ionize. Cool. Cool. What are you playing? Knight of Malice? I can Scorn that, but I'll probably just end up holding out for Solar Blaze. I think I do want to do one of these and erase the thoughts of my opponent. I assume they're on Knights. So here, I really don't care about this. Do I care much about Oath of Kaya? Not really. I assume they're going to Pridemate next turn. I can kill Pridemate thanks to Scorn. This is CMC, right? Yeah, so I can kill Pridemate thanks to Scorn. So yeah, I'm just going to drop their Oath of Kaya. Yeah, I just have to make sure I hold up Sorin. Or I hold up Ionize on the turn that they can play Sorin. So, but yeah, so on their turn 2, they have a 3/3 Johnny's and a Healer's Hawk. On their turn 3, they play a Johnny's Welcome into a Najani. This triggers both of their things, obviously. So we might be able to play it next turn, so I do want to have red mana available. And if they aren't able to play it, I'll just Scorn this or something. Although next turn I can just Solar Blaze, so I probably wouldn't. Well, I kind of hoped that they had well, Fudge, because I want to be able to Ionize or Scorn. I have to take the damage here because they might actually be sandbagging a land, and I need to make sure that I don't get, you know, essentially caught with my pants down. But what I hope is that they are sandbagging a land, and that they play out a Scorn. Come on. Ah, oh, fudge. No, why? Why didn't you just take the damage, you loser? Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and kill that. Already down to 10. Krasis' dad will help us out. I'm gonna go and play this tapped. Pass the turn. Hold up Ionize. Cool. Yeah, so that triggered. The first Pride Mate was now at 4. The second one was at 3. Then they attacked. The first one became a 5 power creature. And the second one became a 4 power creature. I had played 2 lands, and then I played a third to play a Chromatic Lantern. Fun fact, lost that game. I'll go ahead and play this Craig. I can play this. I guess I'll Discovery as well. I'm not too worried about them doing anything else, because Hydroid Krasis is going to help me out. Kai's Wrath. Ooh, I do like a Kai's Wrath. Well, we have Solar Blaze, so I think I actually want to get rid of it. Yeah, I just want to get rid of it. Despark, I think I will keep just to make sure I have Planeswalker removal, essentially. Yeah, we should be okay if they commit more to the board. I can Solar Blaze. That's why I kept the Despark. So I'm going to go down to 4 here. It's not fun. Oh. That's not what I expected. Alright, that's fine. Get Solar Blazed. And then get Desparked.
May death find you quickly.
Shut up, Scorn. So next turn I can Krasis for 4. It'll die, but I can still Krasis for 4. Or I could just Niv. Well, it depends on what they're playing. Yeah, I'm not even counting that mono game. Like, I had no chance. I didn't even play the game. That's why I like refused to count it. So it's definitely gonna get killed. So I think I do need to Krasis up here. I'll do it for 5. Not really reason to not do it for max, since I don't have any 1-drops. I guess technically no, that wouldn't have been a reason because I already played a land. Mortify. I take 2 down to 5. Then I can Gateway Plaza into Niv. Probably just Niv first. See what I get. Yeah, I think that makes sense. This will become a 3-2, but I have a Niv. So hopefully it'll be fine. Ooh, Carnival Carnage. I don't really want to go down super low. But I do like the idea of making them discard their last cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm just gonna Niv. Thank you. Alright then. Gonna go ahead and cast Justice Strike on this. Just, like, go away, please. I will have to discard. Yeah, because if I play this, it's gonna blow up, and I don't want that to happen. What would I discard? I think I need the Ajani. Rouse Outburst, I guess. I don't really need the second Chromatic Lantern. I'll just do this, whatever. The real first game was against Mono Red. I was playing in play mode. My first games were Mono White, Mono Red. I love it. I appreciate my opponent here because they're playing, you know, Black White Knights, Black White Knight life gain stuff. That's cool. It's not a tier deck. It makes sense for them to do that, right? It's cool. This is play mode. Fine. I went up against Mono Red. My hand was fine, except I kept drawing red spells, and I didn't have any red mana, so I died. If it was against like a more mid-range or control build, I possibly could have lived, but they were able to just burn me to the ground. Ooh, this is what I like to see. I'll keep this, so I can play this on turn 1. Oh, fudge. I really hope this is not just a repeat of the last time. So I can play this turn 1, this turn 2, Growth Spiral into this. Okay, cool. Boop. A Growth Spiral end of turn. Just pretend that I have something. That's fine, because I can Bedevil it I can't, actually. Fudge. That's unfortunate. Whatever. Let's see. The next matchup was a Merfolk matchup, and that went better than I expected, frankly. Now I have to play this. Interesting. So, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ugh. I still think the correct decision is Chromatic Lantern into Gateway Plaza. Like, otherwise I could Gateway Plaza, hold up Depose on this. So I would draw a card, but I'd still only be at 4. Then I couldn't kill this. Yeah, so I think the correct decision, shut up. I think the correct decision is this into Gateway Plaza. I'm a 5-color deck. I'm making very important play lines here, okay? It is not easy to play this. So this is going to become 5. Fudge. No, it'd be great. One of those board wipes that I have. I'm at 6 now. I can't cast that. Can I discovery for any board wipe that can help? Yes, I can discovery and hope to get Deafening Clarion. Neither of those are Deafening Clarion. I literally have to get Deafening Clarion, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, if my opponent plays one more thing, this is also 3, so I'd be dead. So I'm fairly certain. Yeah, I think that's what I have to do. Well, fudge. Yeah, sometimes you just die to mono white going first. We beat Merfolk, which was really interesting. I lived at 4, but thanks to Solar Blaze, I was able to pull out the game. And then we went against Jeskai Planeswalkers, as I said. I did not have enough Planeswalker removal, and since they weren't an aggro deck, I had dead cards in my hand for a bit of the game. So, you know, is what it is. This, I should definitely mention, this is not a deck that you want to play if you want to actually win. And I'm not saying that it's, like, bad, like, don't play this deck. If you have the cards to play it, feel free, like, it's a ton of fun. It's just, it's not always going to work. In fact, the majority of the time, especially against net deckers, it's not going to work. But sometimes it will. Now, I did, of course, keep a potentially awful hand with nothing but tap lands, but we had several colors of mana. You might say we have all of the colors. So I'm keeping it. My assumption is this is normal mono blue. So, can't wait to just play against mono red as well and complete the trifecta. Soho, Tribeca, 3 Hos, Trifecta. Yes. It's blue-black, you say? Do I hear a Thought Erasure? I don't know, I did this. It's this. My assumptions are going to take Rampage or Disciple. Maybe they take Vraska, but my assumption is Rampage or Disciple. Rampage makes the most sense, especially if this is a Planeswalker heavy version, or they could also have a Thief of Sanity that they would like to get through. Luckily, I do at least have Depose, so I can hold it off for a little. Another Thought Erasure, alright. So this time they might take Vraska. I think that the correct decision might actually be Draconic Disciple, though. Because I'm just so far away from Vraska. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Drawing too much land, but I'll go ahead and play this. Because it does something. How many? What, 6? 6 to 4? Yeah, that's not great. Do we start off with... I think we started 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we started off with 4 lands, so... Interesting. So, I'm just going to go ahead and cast Niv-Mizzet here. Let me just make sure. Which one of these should I play? This one? White, blue, black, red. Yeah. I think it actually didn't matter, but... Cast a Niv, fill up. Your Thought Erasures mean nothing to me. So we have to choose? Oh, look at that animation. Hell yeah. Between Justice Strike and Clarion. I'm going to keep Justice Strike. But There's literally a 5-mana 6/6 that drew me 5 cards. Oh, I have to actually discard? Shit. I guess Kaya's Wrath? Like, my opponent missed a land drop. Even though they played 2 Ops and 2 Thought Erasures. So, and now they played an Augur, which is probably going to dump 4 lands in the bottom. Or 3, I should say. Oh, no, you got another Opt. Oh, man. Okay, let's go ahead and play. Cool, cool. Opponent had too many Ops, too many Thought Erasures, not enough gas. Not enough lands to deploy the gas. And we had a Niv that drew us a lot of cards. I mean, I just, like, showed off the Niv, and that's kind of... That's all that matters when you play this deck. Like, you shouldn't try and play this deck in rank necessarily. Apparently, you should also play it in play mode, because it doesn't matter where you play. You're going to fight against that. Weren't we just playing against Nova? Right? I go first, and I have a good hand? Don't mind if I do. And I think I'm going to play the Sulfur Falls first. Yes, I'm going to play the Sulfur Falls first, because it definitely comes untapped. This can come in untapped, and this can come in untapped after this. But if I sequence it like this tapped into this, then it would be worse. Especially now I also have Hinterland Harbor, so yeah, I think this is the correct decision. Oh, Nova was the Knights deck? Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I can just bounce it with Teferi. I'm gonna do that. White and blue, cool, cool. I'm just gonna delay it a bit.
I've got time.
And drew another Gateway Plaza, cool, cool. I don't think I talked about the lands. Okay, the lands in this deck are one of each of the shocks and checks, and 1 swamp, because swamp and island are the most common color requirements in the deck, and then I think 3 Gateway Plazas. Possibly you could run 4 Gateway Plazas, but having that 1 additional card that definitely comes in untapped is kind of important. You could argue that it might be better for blue to be the one, considering a lot of the low cards. Well, a lot of the low cards are black, but a lot of them are also blue. Growth Spiral is blue. Angrath's Rampage is only black. Despark's only black. I think either blue or black would be fine. But this deck is fun when it goes off, but it's not necessarily going to go off all the time. Cyborg with 3 arms is an interesting name, and you're not playing as Karn, and that offends me. That offends me. And offenses me. Whatever. This is an okay hand. No white for our Kaya's Wrath, but we do have a Chromatic Lantern. So that's good. And we get to go first, which is also good. Our opponent mulligan, which is also good. They mulligan again, which becomes bad. Because I still want to win on the deck's merits. Not because my opponent has to mull all the way down to fine. So I could play a Swamp and hold up Tyrant Scorn. I don't really mind taking 2 damage, so I'm fine doing this, actually. Just hold up Scorny boy. Oh, Scorny boy. Okay. I didn't even know this was a card. That's fine. Because I'm just going to shock myself and play this. My opponent might be playing a theme deck. Sphinx's Decree. Very interesting. Okay then, I don't... Playing against a lot of Turbo Concede today. Which is awkward because this is probably one of the days where people really want to see the deck play. Luckily, it's only been 24 minutes somehow. Played like 5 or 6 matches or something, man. There are definitely ways you could... Like, this deck is very interesting because you're able to really tailor it to what you want to do. You could theoretically make it even more control-y, somehow. You could theoretically make it more aggressive by having just multicolored creatures, right? Like, In red-black, you have the either the hasty boy who can sack things, Fireblade Artist, something like that, or the hasty zombie. Did the card have a haste? I don't know if it has haste, but the the slith, the thing that gets bigger. This hand is okay, and the reason it's so okay is because we are going first. Because if we can get this down, then it unlocks this card. I think the correct decision here is Godless Shrine, because theoretically something nonsense could happen. My opponent plays a thing. I draw a shockland that has red. Cool, cool. We're playing against Gates, which is probably fine because we're going to be able to hold up Ionize for their nonsense, and all of our removal is going to be targeted to their few. Never mind, it's not the deck I thought it was. So I still think it's correct to just shock here, especially if I think it's correct to shock here. It allows us to hold up Ionize, and that's kind of the main point. Nope, you're supposed to go over there. Okay. Can play this. And now at this point I just hold up Ionize, and if my opponent doesn't play anything, I just ral them. And try and get some more stuff. So my opponent might just be playing Izzet, and they're unable to, like, they don't have the shocks and checks. And that's understandable. I mean, I'm playing literally a deck full of shocks and checks, but I'm still playing a meme, right? I'm not playing anything real powerful or anything, so. I really want to cast Niv. I really, really do. But I don't think I can justify it against a blue-red deck who's played literally no cards. So I just can't justify playing my Niv blind here. Oh, dragons. Huh. I could have theoretically Angrath Rampage that, but since now that they're so low, I planned on playing Niv. I was like, I'm probably not gonna be able to care too much about that. Only 3. That animation's fucking great. I have to parse down dragons. I think I will want to keep that. Although it's the weakest card in my hand, so bye. Yeah, this is removal, this is removal, this is some more mana, which I kind of need. This is selection and potentially removal. It's functional removal, Mortify's removal, Crisis is more draw, so. You're gonna double Lava Coin me? Bro, that's not cool. I'm incredibly offended by this turn of events. Drew a land. Gonna go ahead and play Vraska. Alternatively, I could play Draconic Disciple and just Thought Erasure them, but I think the correct is just Vraska here. Vraska on an empty board is pretty darn good.
Show no stand aside.
Show no stand aside. Wait, why isn't Niv an avatar? What? Why is everyone's turbo concede today? Real talk though. So many people would buy a Niv avatar. Especially this art, like, it looks fantastic. Well, we're still only at 28 minutes, so I'm gonna play the deck again. I've cast Niv a few times, so I mean it's fun. I hope you all are having fun. I feel like the games have either been aggro, which murders me, or not aggro, which just concedes. Did I, like, actually win a game? Or was it just all conceded? No, not in ever. Sure? Yes, this is fine. That's a no from me. So, I'm actually going to play Dragon Skull Summit first, because it lets me play Justice Strike, if I have to. I don't have to, which is nice. Here, I'm going to play this tapped. I could Discovery, but I don't think I need to because I don't know what I need yet. I could have had Justin Strike. Justin Strike. This card is now Justin Strike. Well, I'm not in the art here, but oh, okay. Interesting. Going to go ahead and play out a Tomb, I suppose. And play out a Disciple. This will put me to 5 mana next turn. What does this make? Soldiers? Is this a soldier deck? No, it's a vampire deck. Huh. Color me confused. That's fine, I guess. I can just hold up Justice Strike. I don't need to attack here. Dawn of Hope. Vampires. So I guess it's like a vampire life gain deck? Next turn I can play Vraska. This is instant, okay. I had to make sure it was instant because I cannot for the life of me live down anytime I think a card is a sorcery and I play. Oh, they might have the... Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I was gonna say they might have the feast something. It's a 4-mana card, makes 3 vamps. Call to the feast. Where's your heart? So I can kill this, then I can Vraska. I'll probably get rid of the Radiant Destiny for now. Because I don't think I need it. Or, I don't need it. Because I think... Well, I don't know. I guess Dawn of Hope gives them draw potential. And Radiant Destiny I don't necessarily care about. So yeah, I'll just do this. Here, I put...
Will not be pleased.
She just called him Nicholas. I feel like that's the first time I ever, like, heard that. No! You can't contempt Vraska with her own hatred? Rude. Well, I guess I can Discovery, and I can Discovery into... No! I guess I can Discovery into Niv, but whatever. I will Discovery. Try and actually find some hot action. I don't need Trophy. I don't need Glacial Fortress. Cameo. Not bad. I'll take the 2. I'll keep the treasure for now. Do I want to get anything back with this? Not really. Niv-Mizzet, please. Darn. Next turn I can get Teferi back if I want. Which I probably will. Nah, it's better just to try and get... You gonna contempt me again? Don't know why I had a little bit of British in there. Sure. I assume you're gonna get a lieutenant? A lieutenant? Lieutenant. Is it lieutenant? I don't know, freaking Canadians. Mavrin Fane. Despark. That's just rude.
This study is over.
How dare you? Ooh! Don't mind if I do. I feel like I want to start dealing with dabblage. Let's start dealing with dabblage. And die. Bruh. That animation's better now that the card is no longer in play. Shit. The reason I'm doing this is because I can still attack here. Well, they have lifelink. Ugh. The flood. You brought the flood. I feel the pressure. It's coming down on me. It's turning me black and black. I was like, how did Niv get down there? I realized, oh. Because I put him down there in the mulligan. Fudge. Oh, yay. More nonsense. This is non-token, right? Yeah, so just not attacking. They have Immortal Folly? Oh, fuck. This is not going super well for me. I need to draw, like... There's so many good draws in this deck right now. There are plenty of dead ones. But there are so many good draws in this deck right now. Oh, fudge. That's no good. Just spouting random references. I don't know what to talk about. My opponent's going super wide. I feel like that last one sounded just a little bit. I forgot his name. Well, damn. Nice. Hey, nice. Cool. Have fun drawing one card. It is still a 5/5 though. Just runner after runner, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Hit me up with them draws. Yeah. God damn it. That animation is so good. I can Despark this if I want. Honestly, I might as well just hit him. Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? Would you tell us that you're okay? An argument could be made to Thought Erasure here just to Scry, but I have Ral anyway, so I don't actually care too much. Have a lot of instant sources in the graveyard, so this should be a win. Huh. Oh, right, he's still dead. I have lethal on board, dumbass. I'm not gonna lie to you. Based on what I had to deal with in practice, I was fully expecting not to win a single game when I recorded. But I am pleasantly surprised. I hope all of you are as well. This is a fun deck, right? As long as you're not going against... I honestly, I feel like maybe, like, even good mid-range and control decks, like actual, like, tiered ones. Maybe not, like, perfectly top tier, but, like, tier 1.5, tier 2. I feel like against those, you're probably fine. It's just the aggro decks. And, like, you can deal with the non-tiered aggro decks. But if you're going against mono blue, mono white, and mono red, you're probably screwed. So if you want to just have fun, and you want to play this deck, play it. If you get paired with one of those people, immediately concede. If you want to just have fun, immediately concede. That said, I do want to talk really quickly about some of the cards in the sideboard that I did think about while making the deck, or cards that LVD had and I decided not to play. Status Statue is decent. It allows you to have a decent amount of removal. The status part doesn't really matter. You can't really justify putting this in place of any of the other 3 Golgari cards that are in the deck, but I did consider it. Thrash Threat. Thrash, like, if you ever are able to use Thrash, you're probably doing pretty well because you have like a Niv-Mizzet out or something, and Threat being a sorcery just sucks. So I legit was just like, this card's not good to me, so I just got Draconic Disciple because it's helpful, right? It's actually helpful. Deputy of Detention. 1, I just really love the art for that. This person's name is Ghostly. Why wasn't I informed? Anyway, very helpful card. It exiles things for a bit when you use slow down. It blocks. It's helpful, but the 3-mana Teferi is probably just better because it hates on control a little bit and can bounce things. So, Kaya Orzhov Usurper. Once again, like, all of these cards that are on the sideboard here are decent cards. It's just that you can't. You only have 3 slots per guild, and some of them are 2 slots, right? So not only do you have to decide which of those 2 guilds are going to get the 2 slots, but you have to decide a very small window for which cards you want. And I really liked Kaya, but Despark was better, Kaya's Wrath was better, Mortify was better. Thief of Sanity. I really wanted to play this, but as you can see, bit of a clunky 3 area. I was considering dropping either Tyrant, Scorn, or Discovery, because Thought Erasure is just too good, but I decided that I needed enough 2-drops anyway, and it's enough 3-drops. Like, Leyline Prowler, I legitimately think is a fantastic addition to this deck, but it's just so hard to justify getting rid of any of the other Golgari cards. Casualties of War is the one that's on the cutting block, I think. Chopping block, I should say, for this card, because it's unfortunate that it's a 3-mana card, but it gives you any color of mana. It's a 2/3, which is better than the Draconic Disciple. I would still probably run both. But it has Death Touch and Lifelink, so it's just incredibly helpful. It's so good, and I'm so sad that this card doesn't see play, like, at all. It makes me... Oh, I need to revisit my Death Touch deck. Death Touch deck coming back, because this card is awesome. Cura. She's okay. She lets you kind of ramp, but she doesn't do much else besides that. Many of the creatures you play can enter with Power 4 or greater, but it doesn't help enough. And that's why I decided to put in Growth Spiral. Save the Skills. Very similar to Kaya. This card is so close, but the other ones are just kind of more necessary. Hostage Taker, very similar to Thief. This one I think was more considered than Thief was, just because of the fact that we had such a glut at 3. But this card's so good, but the other cards were kind of more needed. Time Wipe. If you don't want to play Teferi because of, ethical reasons, Time Wipe, I think, is a fantastic card because it's a board wipe, and this style of nonsense deck never doesn't want a board wipe, and it does have synergy with the deck. It allows you to rebuy your Niv and play it again. You know, if you're running super low on gas against an aggressive or a mid-range deck that is just eating away at your hand because you have to keep deploying these removals, Time Wipe is a very helpful card. Angrath the Flame Chained. I really wanted to play this card because it's Cowdad, but the other Rakdos cards are a little bit more helpful. Bedevil, Rampage, and Carnival Carnage. I was like, I couldn't stop having Bedevil in my head. But yeah, Cowdad, unfortunately, just doesn't make the cut. Tristani, I talked a little bit about her earlier. She's okay. She's just a little too slow. Tatiova, very similar to Tristani, actually. Very okay. A little too slow. Ethereal Absolution, I just freaking love this card, and I try to justify it, but it's like the bottom of the 3 Orzhov cards that are in the sideboard here. Like, it's Seraph of Scales, then a lot below that Kaya, then a lot below that Ethereal. And I already talked about why I didn't like Expansion Explosion. It just didn't feel good in the deck. The expansion can theoretically help against like mono red because it allows you to copy their bolts and things like that to redirect them to your to their creatures. But I very rarely casted this card, and Explosion I legit it just was in my hand. I was like, I don't want this. So I am going to buy a pack. No one worry. Am I going to buy 4 packs? Yeah, who cares? Like, you know what? I'm not opening all of these right now, but I'm buying them all. I'm gonna open, I don't know, decent number of packs. Sure. I have all of the commons and uncommons as a playset in pretty much every set, I think. Yeah. So even the arena only cards, I have a playset of all of the commons and uncommons, not a playset of all the rares. But I did that because I have. So if you're able to craft as many wild commons and uncommons up to 4 as you can, if you have an excess of commons and uncommon wild cards. The reason for that, and obviously not everyone's going to have that. I obviously have been, paying real money to put into this because it's kind of one of my jobs. But the reason for that is if you're going to be opening up a bunch of packs of a specific set anyway, if you were to get those cards, it would be converted into the vault points, and the vault does allow you to get rares and mythics. So if you have enough to max out a set of its commons or uncommons, most likely commons, then you'll be able to really get a little bit more advantage doing that. I obviously am not a person who's like super smart about the economics of Arena, but I believe that is the correct thing to do. Anyway, of course, I'd like to thank my lovely patrons, especially Salamander, Croft, Zin, and Rexel for their continued support. If you'd like to join them in supporting the channel on Patreon, you can find links to that down in the description. Or you can just hit that join button, become a channel member, which essentially is a $5 patron. Of course, back down in the description, there's also the link to my Discord, where we chat and play games, or my Aether account, where I host all of my deck lists. Once again, big shout out to LVD. I've never actually talked to him, really, which is because I'm, afraid of talking to anyone in this field that is bigger than I am. But still, he's a Flipside gaming buddy. So if you want to support him, I'm going to also put a link in the description to his YouTube channel. He is a cool dude. I really like the style that he uses when he plays games. I want to see him play more Legacy, though. Anyway, I do, of course, hope you've enjoyed this video. I absolutely did, and I was incredibly surprised by how well we did. If you did, go ahead and tap that like button, add a subscription to me, and pull cast one of those comments in the comment section down below, past the turn and the vid to some of your friends. And until next time, all will be one.